Okay, I got it working now. You see the sign when holding short of the runway. You receive clearance to back taxi on the runway for a full-length runway 26 departure. Which way should you turn when first taxiing onto the runway for takeoff? That would be to the left because you're holding short of runway 8. Go this way and get ready to take off 26. All right. Refer to figure 900. This sign confirms your position on So go back to the figure here. So the reason why this tells you you're on taxiway to runway 22 so just look for, this just shows you're on a taxiway. So it doesn't mean you're on taxiway to 22. The other questions just don't make any sense. All right. Question 109, refer to figure 901. This sign can be found on, answer, either side of the taxiway. This kind of shows the direction. They're normally located on the left prior to the intersection. When used on a runway to indicate an exit, the sign is located on the same side of the runway as the exit. The note that the key phrase in the paragraph is that direction signs are normally located on the left prior to the intersection. This means that either side of the taxiway is the most correct answer. So yeah, either side of the taxiway. So that just really means that this is the most correct. It doesn't even mean that it's correct. What is the purpose of a runway threshold bar? It indicates the beginning of a runway with a displaced threshold. A threshold bar delineates the beginning of a runway that is available for landing when the threshold has been relocated or displaced. A threshold bar is 10 feet in width and extends across the width of the runway as shown in that figure. So the purpose of a runway threshold bar indicates the beginning of a runway with a displaced threshold. All right, so refer to figure 58. Where would you see this sign that shows those 3, 4, and 1, 6? So 3, 4, 1, 6. So you would see it at 10 and 11. You would see the sign at 10 and 11 that shows you're at both those runways. This sign is located at the holding position on taxiways that intersect a runway or on runways that intersect other runways. The inscription on the sign contains the designation of the intersecting runway as shown in figure 2, 3, and 2.4. The runway numbers on the sign are arranged to correspond to the respective runway threshold. For example, 1533 indicates that the threshold for runway 15 is to the left and the threshold for runway 33 is to the right. On taxiways that intersect the beginning of the takeoff runway, only the designation of the takeoff runway may appear on the signs as shown, while other signs will have the designation of both runway directions. So because you're not at the end of the runway, it's showing you both. You receive the clearance to fly runway heading, climb, and maintain 3,000 feet. Cleared for takeoff runway 26. You see the sign. Which way do you turn? You turn to the right because you're on this side, turning to the right, taking off 26, which is that way. The term airport means an area of land or water that is used or intended to be used for the landing and takeoff of aircraft and includes its buildings and facilities, if any. According to the sign, you are on Taxiway Alpha, because it's in black. The ground controller instructs you to taxi and hold short of runway 22. Upon reaching the holding area, which sign will you see? I don't think it's either of these signs. Number 1 is a direction sign showing that 22 is that way. And number 2 is the runway hold sign located at the approach of runway 4, the opposite end of the runway the pilot has been instructed to taxi to. So neither sign is appropriate for the holding area for runway 22. Pilots involved in NMAC occurrences are urged to report each incident immediately. NMAC means near mid-air collision. And you should report each incident immediately by radio or telephone to the nearest FAA air traffic control facility or flight service station. So a near mid-air collision is defined as an incident associated with the operation of aircraft in which a possibility of collision occurs as a result of proximity of less than 500 feet to either aircraft of another aircraft, or a report is received from a pilot or flight crew member stating that a collision hazard existed between the two or more aircraft. Information concerning the aircraft registration application or the aircraft bill of sale can be obtained from a FSDO. A pilot flying in a fatigue state is a hazard because flying fatigue is flying impaired. Statistics show that 75% of accidents occur due to improper human performance. 75% of accidents occur due to improper human performance. Okay. Refer to figure 3.4. The floor of Class Echo airspace over Johnson Airport is 1,200 feet AGL. It's not located inside of a soft magenta region, so the floor of the Class Echo airspace over it is 1,200 feet AGL. It would be 700 feet AGL if the airport were inside of a soft magenta region. Humans are characteristically poor monitors of automation. Humans are characteristically poor monitors of automation. Some advantages of automation systems may be offset by inherent limitations. Some advantages of automation systems may be offset by inherent limitation. Your charter flight customers want to take a flight that will land at Reagan International. You must undergo special awareness training and receive a certificate of completion before making the flight. Special awareness training is required for pilots flying under VFR within a 60 nautical mile radius of the Washington, D.C. VOR. I guess this is a special area to fly in. Which phase of flight increases your chance of experiencing somatographic illusion? Is a rapid acceleration on takeoff. So a rapid acceleration on takeoff increases your chance of experiencing cinematographic illusion. A cinematographic illusion is a rapid acceleration, such as experienced during takeoff, that stimulates the otolith organs in the same way as tilting the head backwards. This action creates the cinematographic illusion of being in a nose-up attitude, especially in situations without good visual references. The distorted pilot may push the aircraft into a nose-low or dive attitude. A rapid deceleration by quick reduction of the throttles can have the opposite effect, with the disoriented pilot pulling the aircraft into a nose-up or stall attitude. So I guess when you're accelerating, you're in a rapid acceleration, and it basically it might cause you to get disoriented and push the aircraft into a nose-low or dive attitude. You're planning a VFR cross-country flight that will take you within 60 nautical miles radius of the Washington, D.C. VOR. Prior to conducting the flight, you must complete special awareness training. You are on Victor 230 heading southwest at 3,500 feet. Let me pull up the chart. You are heading southwest at 3,500 feet, and you are 2 nautical miles north of the Johnson Airport, M90. So we look at point 4, Johnson Airport. You are on the Victor 230 heading southwest. You're going this way at 3,500 feet. What is your minimum visibility and cloud clearance? The answer is that you need 3 miles visibility, 1,000 feet above, 500 feet below, and 2,000 feet horizontal from clouds. So at 3,500 feet elevation, MSL, and the elevation of that airport, Johnson Airport, which is M90, is 162 feet, which you'll be seeing here. You are flying at 3,338 AGL. In the position given in the question, you are not within a shaded magenta region, and therefore at that altitude, which is above 1,200 feet, you are in Class Echo airspace. So you're over here. You're 2 miles north of Johnson Airport, so you're not within the shaded area. So you're right over here. So you know you're in Class Echo airspace. So in Class E, the basic weather minimums are, if you're less than 10,000 feet MSL in normal Class Echo, you need 3 statute miles of visibility, 500 feet below, 1,000 feet above, 2,000 feet horizontal. And if you're above 10,000 feet, you need 5 statute miles of visibility, 1,000 feet below, 1,000 feet above, and 1 statute mile horizontal. So if you're above 10,000 feet, you need really a lot of visibility. Refer to figure 5.3.3, okay? Point 3, okay, we're at point 3, zoom in. The floor of controlled airspace over Firebaugh Airport, should be 700 feet because it's within the red magenta. So it's inside the soft magenta region. So the floor of Class Echo airspace is 700 feet AGL. It would be 1,200 AGL if it was over here. You were planning a VFR cross-country flight that'll pass near to but not more than 60 nautical miles radius from the Washington VOR. You know that the flight may be conducted in accordance with current regulations. So I guess there's special rules around this Washington, D.C. VOR, so you just need to know that there could be special regulations. Refer to Figure 2. Figure 52.3. So point 3 is here. What is the height of the terrain at the obstruction located 1 nautical mile northwest of Robbins? So here's Robbins. Where is Robbins? 52.3. So northwest of if this is Robbins, I think northwest is referring to this one. What is the height of the terrain? I don't see the small town of Robbins. So Robbins is here. We're supposed to be looking for a little black dot. So that's East Nikolaus. I do not see a little black dot. So the MSL of this, yeah, this is the one it's referring to. The MSL top of the tower is 261 feet. And the height of the tower is 235 feet. So the height of the terrain at the tower is going to be 261 feet minus 235 feet. So that's 26 feet. So yeah, you got to really be careful to focus on terrain or whatever it's telling you to look at. Okay, so go next. During pre-flight planning, the evening before, you find a VFR waypoint on your sectional chart. How can you find the details about the waypoint? Refer to the airport facilities directory. How can you find information about a VFR waypoint? Refer to the airport facilities directory. All right. Okay, you were planning on operating a flight in the vicinity of Van Vleck Airport, Area 6. So let's go down to Area 6. Van Vleck. Here's Van Vleck. You notice unforecast thunderstorms to the west of the airport, so that's over here. How can you receive a weather update without leaving the aircraft? So you're still on the ground because it says you're planning. So you could look at the Rancho Murrieta RCO. That box shows that Rancho Murrieta flight service station can be reached on 122.2. So 122.2. You can also call flight service on the phone at 1-800-WX-BRIEF, which is 992-7433. How long does it take for the body to rid itself of 1 ounce of alcohol after consumption? So 1 ounce of alcohol after consumption could be gotten rid of by the body after 3 hours. How long does it take for the body to rid itself of 1 ounce of alcohol after consumption? The answer is 3 hours for 1 ounce. 3 hours for 1 ounce. 3 hours for 1 ounce. What are your responsibilities as a pilot when entering and or traversing an alert area? An alert area is to inform non-participating pilots of areas that may contain a high volume of pilot training or an unusual type of aerial activity. Pilots should exercise caution in alert areas. When entering an alert area, you just need to know that it is to inform non-participating pilots of areas that may contain high volume of pilot training or an unusual type of aerial activity. Exercise caution in alert areas. Pilots should be cautious about flying too soon after drinking because considerable amounts of alcohol can remain in the body for over 16 hours. 16 hours. Why is a fatigued pilot a hazard? A pilot or co-pilot may not realize they are too tired to fly until serious errors are made. All right. You were planning to depart a day VFR flight from Madeira Airport. So we look at point 1. Madeira Airport. Madeira Airport, MAE. Oh, here it is, Madeira. You are planning to depart on a day VFR flight from Madeira. The floor of controlled airspace over the airport is 700 feet AGL. 700 feet AGL. Because it's in the South Magenta region. If it wasn't in the South Magenta region, the floor would be 1,200 feet. Just remember that all classes of airspace are controlled except for Class Golf. So as your aircraft departs the airport in this question, when it leaves Class Golf airspace into Class Echo airspace, you have entered control airspace. To avoid landing at the wrong airport or on the wrong runway, a pilot should follow the instrument approach chart for the appropriate runway. If you were stopped on the airport surface area and the sign in the figure, okay, look at F. If you were stopped on the airport surface area and the sign in the figure was visible, where are you located? I think you're at the threshold of 22. Yeah, you're on runway 22. 200 knots indicated as the maximum airspeed in the airspace underlying Class Bravo airspace. The no entry sign identifies paved area where aircraft entry is prohibited. If you look at point 6, so Rancho Murrieta. You depart from Rancho Murrieta VFR direct to Sacramento, so that's that way. Your flight takes you directly through the MHR Class Delta airspace, so that's Mather right here. Is hearing your call sign read by SMF air controls sufficient to enter the MHR airspace? The answer is no. You still need to get permission from MHR tower controllers. This is a Class Delta airspace. You must have permission to enter an active Class Delta airspace. And contacting the approach for VFR flight following does not grant you that permission. So you can't just hear them say your call sign, you actually have to get permission to enter. All right. Refer to figure 54.1. 5, there's 1. You were departing Livermore Airport, VFR en route to San Francisco, SFO. you must have an air traffic control clearance. That's pretty clear. What is the required flight visibility if you are VFR northeast bound on Victor 230? So we look for 0.4. So you are VFR northeast bound, so you're going this way, northeast bound, at 5,500 feet MSL, passing north of the Johnson Airport. So over here, above 1,200 feet, you're within Class Echo airspace. So you need 3 statute miles of visibility. The required visibility over here is above 1,200 feet is going to be 3 miles. So for Class Echo, once again, if you're under 10,000 feet MSL, you need 3 statute miles of visibility, 500 feet below, 1,000 feet above, 2,000 feet horizontal from clouds. If you're above 10,000 feet, you need 5 statute miles of visibility. You need to be 1,000 feet below the clouds, 1,000 feet above the clouds, and 1 statute mile horizontal from the clouds. Automated navigation systems can create both an increase and a decrease in situational awareness. Automated navigation systems can create both an increase and a decrease in situational awareness. You're planning to pre-flight your aircraft at Fresno Executive Airport, point 2. So let's go to point 2. Here's Fresno Chandler. How can you receive, so fog is rolling in from the northwest, so coming from here. How can you receive a weather update without leaving the aircraft? You can contact the range from your radio on 122.2 or call 1-800-WX-BRIEF, which is 922-7433. While planning a cross-country flight, you see a thin black shaded line labeled Victor VR1007. To what altitude does the MTR extend? MTR is a military training route. You see a thin black shaded line labeled VR1007. The extend, to what altitude does the MTR extend? It says all the route is below 1,500 feet. So, according to this, military training routes with no segment above 1,500 feet AGL must be identified by 4 number characters. Example, VR1207. Military training routes that include 1 or more segments above 1,500 feet AGL must be identified by 3 number characters. Example, VR207. Alternate IR VR routes or route segments are identified by using the basic principal route designation followed by a letter suffix. Example, VR107, 1007B, etc. So if there's 4 letters, it's 1,000 feet or below. Make sure to study this one again. Refer to this figure. While taxiing for takeoff, the controller gives you instructions to hold short of the runway 15 approach area, and you see this sign. Following this instruction will ensure protection for runway 15 approaches or runway 33 departures. Yeah. Penetrating the airspace level labeled R2531 near Area 3 is allowed but may be extremely hazardous. Let's go ahead and look that up. Near Area 3.